Joining me now is House Speaker Mike Johnson. Mr. Speaker, have you been discovered? Has Sunny Hostin discovered that the real motivation here, should you pass a baby bump tax incentive, is not to combat what looks like a very scary future of not just the U.S., but actually many countries across Western civilization, to reverse declining birthing rates, but actually what you're out there doing is trying to bring in new white babies?
Absolutely absurd. The View is an absurd program. Yours, on the other hand, Will, is fantastic. You're doing a great show, and I'm so honored to be with you. Look, that's no surprise what The View is doing there. Every creative idea that the president and this White House come up with, they pan immediately, no matter what merit it may have. We are the Republican Party. We're the pro-family party. We always have been. We take great pride in that. We're working every day to rebuild a culture of life in America. We want to advance policies that help families and make it easier to raise a child in America. We support all children. We love all life. That's what we've always been about. It's actually in our platform, and the Democratic Party stands for the opposite. You know, those views illustrate that.
Yeah, and that is an actual fact that the Republican Party has been dedicated to the growth of the family for most of the last half century, if not more. It doesn't seem to have worked real well, by the way, Mr. Speaker, and that's not a criticism, it's just a diagnosis as we look at the declining birth rate here in the United States. So that would argue, one would hope, for some novel approaches to re-incentivizing people to build big families.
Yeah, we certainly need to do that. The way popular culture has developed in recent decades, they de-emphasize the family, they de-emphasize the merit of marriage, strong, steady, stable marriages between one man and one woman that produce children, you know? I mean, this is part of the uphill climb that we have in working against the culture, but we'll continue to do that, and public policy should reflect it.
All right, we're on a two-week break here, Mr. Speaker, but we need an update from you. I know that your goal, I believe, is by Memorial Day to see delivery of the big, beautiful bill. Can you give me an update on where we are in the sort of flow chart of the process at arriving at this big, beautiful bill?
Yeah, I'm so glad you asked about that. Within the last hour, Majority Leader Steve Scalise and I had a conference call with our 11 committee chairs, the 11 Republican chairmen of the committees of jurisdiction that are working on the one big beautiful bill, as the president calls it, or reconciliation bill. This is the legislative vehicle that we're going to use to deliver President Trump's America First agenda, and it's got everything in it. So it's a complicated piece of legislation. I think it can be and probably will be one of the most consequential pieces of legislation ever passed by the United States Congress. So a lot of work has gone into this. We've been working on it for over a year. But here's the update. What you'll see over the next 4 weeks is the pieces, the various components of that big bill rolling out of these committees. You'll have committee markups scheduled in all those 11 committees successively over the next 4 weeks, and you're going to see this thing come together. We are pushing it very aggressively on a schedule, as you said, to get it done by Memorial Day, and there's a lot of reasons for that. I mean, we have the X date approaching on the debt limit, the debt ceiling. We've got resources for the border dwindling. We have market instability, and we have the urgency right now to prevent the largest tax increase in U.S. history, which is what would happen at the end of this year if those tax cuts expire.
All right, sitting on the screen right now for anyone watching at home is the flowchart of the process the Speaker just referenced and where we sit today. Right now, it is apparently going to committees. It should come back together at some point before passed on to both the House and the Senate. It's being marked up. It's being brainstormed. It's being compiled as we speak. So we also showed on screen, Mr. Speaker, a list of items that are expected to be included in that bill. One thing that was not on the screen that has been rumored that I have to ask you about is, should the American people expect an increase in the top marginal tax rate? There have been some reports out there that the Trump administration is looking at pushing the top tax rate for those making over $1 million back up towards 39–40%. Is that something that we should expect from a Republican bill?
I would not expect that. We have been working against that idea. I'm not in favor of raising the tax rates because our party is the group that stands against that traditionally. So there were lots of ideas thrown out on the table along this process over the last year. But I would just say for everybody, just wait and see. There's more details coming, and I think you're going to be very pleased by what you see. I don't think we're raising taxes on anybody. What we're trying to do is prevent the largest tax increase in U.S. history.
And I know you're going to have people pushing back on the size of the deficit, how you cover much of the spending. And I'll tell you what, I know you have a gigantic job ahead of you bringing together Republicans. Forget Democrats. You have a big job ahead of you bringing together Republicans. I hope you'll stay in touch with us here, Mr. Speaker, and let us know every step of the way how it's going.
Will do. Thanks, Will. Appreciate it.
All right. Hey, it's Will Cain. Click here to subscribe to the Fox News channel on YouTube. It's the best way to get our latest interviews and highlights. And click to subscribe to the Will Cain podcast for full episodes right now.